Let's just dive right into this explainer and decode a little mystery I know we've literally all experienced. You know the drill. You walk into a supermarket, you just need to grab a single carton of milk. That's it. But then, 45 minutes later, you're walking out with a cart full of snacks, somehow a brand new frying pan, and completely empty pockets.
You look down at that mile-long receipt and, well, you probably blame your own lack of willpower, right? But the truth? It's actually a whole lot darker. Your willpower didn't just fail you, it was systematically dismantled. You really have to ask yourself, did you actually make those choices?
Honestly, you didn't. You didn't make those choices at all because an invisible system made them for you. Today in this explainer, we're stepping behind the curtain. We're going to decode the illusion of choice and look at exactly how retail architecture is engineered to literally hack your brain.
Section 1. The blueprint. The decompression zone.
Let's kind of mentally unroll the blueprint of your standard megastore. Right as you step through those automatic doors, think about what always greets you first. It's those mountains of shiny, perfectly misted apples and bright green veggies. And no, this isn't because produce is the most popular thing in the store. It's actually a highly calculated psychological trigger. Seeing all that fresh, healthy food immediately releases a hit of dopamine in your brain. It just makes you feel incredibly responsible right off the bat.
And this brilliantly illustrates a fundamental rule of behavioral economics. See, when we perform a quote-unquote good action, like tossing some spinach into our cart, we instantly give ourselves this subconscious permission to commit a bad action later on. So by the time you reach aisle 4, that healthy start, that is the exact reason you don't feel guilty grabbing a giant box of chocolate cookies. The trap is perfectly set.
Section 2. The blueprint. The sensory maze.
Now let's move to the perimeter of this mental map and take a look around. Notice what's missing. There are absolutely no windows, no clocks on the walls, and I promise you, this is not some architectural accident. You are experiencing what architects actually call the Gruen Effect. It's this wild psychological phenomenon where a deliberately confusing layout makes you totally lose your sense of time and even your original purpose for being there. It's engineered to transition you from a logical, focused buyer into an emotional, impulsive shopper. If we were to build out a sensory table for this exact environment, it'd be pretty eye-opening. Every single sense is targeted. For your eyes, they use bright, focused spotlights aimed directly at those high-margin items. For your ears, the music is playing at a very, very specific rhythm. And for your nose, well, there's that alluring smell of freshly baked bread.
Let's actually break those down, starting with the audio. Studies show that playing music slower than the average human heartbeat forces you to unconsciously slow your own walking pace by up to 15%. Think about that. They are literally controlling your physical speed through the aisles.
Now what about those incredible bakery smells? Very often the bakery isn't even actually baking anything. They're simply pumping artificial scents right through the store's ventilation system to trigger your salivary glands. And this matters because a hungry shopper buys 30% more food. It's wild.
Section 3. The blueprint. The golden pyramid.
Okay, let's move a bit deeper into the store and examine the shelves themselves. Try to think of a supermarket shelf not just as a piece of furniture holding stuff, but as a heavily calculated financial pyramid. Down at the very bottom, near the floor, that's where you find the bulk items in the cheaper generic brands. You literally have to bow down to save money. Then in the middle, you've got the highest profit items. And finally, at a very specific angle, you find the stuff targeted directly at kids.
Right there in the middle is what the retail industry calls the bullseye zone. It is perfectly aligned with your natural line of sight, enforcing the ultimate golden rule of retail: eye level is buy level. This is exactly where they place the most expensive, highest profit margin items, basically just waiting for your hand to naturally reach out and grab them.
But honestly, here is the most sinister part of this entire pyramid. When you walk down the cereal aisle, the target audience for those bright, sugary boxes isn't you at all, it's your kids. They're placed at the exact perfect height for a child's eye level. And if you look really closely at the cartoon mascots on the boxes, their eyes are actually drawn pointing slightly downward. They are literally making direct eye contact with your child, forging an emotional connection before you even have a chance to reach for your wallet.
Section 4. The blueprint. The Checkout Gauntlet.
Finally, you navigate your way to the checkout line. But you gotta realize, this isn't just a place to pay. It is the ultimate gauntlet of this whole architectural journey. By this point in the trip, you have made hundreds of little micro decisions. Should I get the blue package or the red one? The large size or the small? Because of this, your brain is experiencing severe decision fatigue. Your prefrontal cortex, which is the logical reasoning part of your brain, is just completely exhausted.
And right then, exactly when your willpower is at its absolute lowest, what's completely surrounding you? Candy bars, sugary drinks, glossy magazines. None of these are placed there randomly. These are impulse buys, strategically located at the exact moment you literally no longer have the mental energy to say no.
So, what does this all mean, and how do you actually fight back? Well, the next time you walk through those automatic doors, just remember this blueprint. Put on your headphones to block out that tempo. Bring a strict written list to combat the Gruen Effect, and deliberately look down at the bottom shelves. Take back your agency, and don't let the architecture do the thinking for you.
Will you continue to let the environment dictate your actions, or are you ready to finally step behind the curtain? Keep these hidden rules in mind, recognize the invisible systems at play, and never stop questioning the world around you. Thanks for joining me on This Explainer, and we'll see you next time